Hockey Aspire to be Deadly acknowledges traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises the continuing connections to lands, waters and communities. We pay our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to the elders both past, present and emerging. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this podcast may contain images, videos or names of people who have since passed away.
G'day everybody and welcome to another podcast for the Aspire to be Deadly program here at the Cairns Hockey Association. And I'm excited today to have Veronica Namai and Sawadu Tabuai with me today to have a chat about their recent visit to the Under-13 State Championships. G'day Ronnie, how are you?
I'm good.
That's the way. And g'day Sawadu, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Absolutely brilliant. Now you've both just been away to the Under-13 State Championships. Veronica, you as a player, how exciting was that?
It was exciting, okay.
It was really exciting? Mm-hmm. And what about you, Sawadu? You went away as in what role?
As a mentor support work for the girls.
Okay, fantastic. Now, at the end of the day, there was some exciting news when it was all finished. Veronica, what was all that about? Didn't you make a Queensland team or something?
I made a Queensland team.
So what Queensland team did you make?
For the Under-13's gold.
The Under-13 team that's going to play in the National Championships?
Yep.
And whereabouts are the National Championships?
Herbert.
In Hobart?
Hobart.
In Hobart in Tasmania, yeah. And have you ever been out of Queensland before travelling?
No.
Wow, how exciting is this? And we're really, really lucky today to have your mum sitting here with us and she's listening to this as we go. And your mum was just saying that she's never been outside of Queensland either. So how exciting is that for both of you? So Sawadu, talk to me about your experience at the Under-13s. What went on and how was it?
It was good, minus the rain, but it was my first time going down to Brisbane, Ipswich, and experience a different type of cold. But yeah, it was good.
So bought the thermals and that before you went, no doubt?
Oh yeah, I did.
And a little bit of shivering when you're out there watching Veronica do her stuff around the hockey field. So Veronica, you've been playing hockey for a long time or a short time. So tell me a little bit about your story and how you got into hockey.
So it was on a school day. I was walking around and like all my friends, they were all gone. They were in like the stadium. So like I went there and like I saw Lisa and Jess and they were like, oh, you want to come in? And like I was like, oh yeah. I went and had a try. Then a couple of days later, they asked if I wanted to play hockey and bring the form to Mom. Mom signed it. Then I went to Cairns West, back to school, and went and started playing hockey. I started when I was in year 3.
Wow. And what year are you in school now?
Year 8.
Year 8. So you've been playing for 5 years. And is this the first time you've made a Queensland team?
Yep.
Wow, how exciting is that? Were you excited when you found out about it?
Yeah, I was jumping around.
I'll bet you did. Now, you mentioned that you were out here and you ran into Jess and Lisa Fatnauna, and they've been mentoring you a little bit up at Cairns West State School, haven't they? And now you're out at Bentley Park, aren't you? Yeah, okay. And they've been doing some work, and the program's been doing some work out there with you? Mm-hmm. Fantastic stuff. Now, listen, when you were away at state championships playing for Cairns, and is that the first time you've played for Cairns?
No.
So how much have you played for Cairns?
I played for Cairns 2 times. My first one, I went down to Mackay. Then my second one, I went to Gympie.
So the Mackay one would have been under 11s, is that right?
Yep.
And then last year you were in Gympie, weren't you? I remember you there because I was there with you and it was wet and muddy and exactly the same as Ipswich, except we're on the grass fields, weren't we? And the grass was so long and it was pretty hard. Now tell me this, what position did you play for Cairns at the state championships in Ipswich?
I played centre forward and I played inner.
At these state championships?
Yep.
Did you get any goals?
Yeah.
How many goals did you get?
Can't remember.
Oh, good on you, because you scored a lot when I watched you in Gympie. Because you played a centre forward in Gympie, didn't you? Okay. And so you went back into the midfield a little bit this time.
Yeah.
So how did you enjoy that experience?
It was alright. It was tough.
Yeah, why was it tough?
Because you had to 1v1 the players and get past them.
Okay. So it was more challenging for you because there was more people you had to beat?
Yeah.
Wow. But then again, if you beat more people, the way you go and the goals are there for you, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So Sawadu, tell me a little bit about your background and whatever the case may be. So you've obviously been in Cairns for a while now. Were you born and bred in Cairns? And tell us a little bit about your cultural history.
Yeah, I was born and bred in Cairns, grew up down here, and I'm from Torres Strait. I mean, like Sawadu Island,
And your totem is?
A crocodile.
Crocodile.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Veronica? Do you know much about your cultural background?
I was born in Mariba.
Okay.
I'm from the Torres Strait and I'm Aboriginal. I grew up down in Cairns. And yeah,
Cool. Okay. Do you know your totem at all?
it's crocodile.
That's a crocodile as well, is it? Well, I'll have to stay away from you two. I might get into a bit of trouble in deep water. I think you might be chewing me up a bit. Now, Sawadu, you mentioned you went to Ipswich as Veronica's mentor, which was a new experience for you. And I think you mentioned to me before you went, it was your first time basically in the southeast part of Queensland. So without be damning, because remember we've got friends in Ipswich, what did you think about the first time down that way? Other than the cold, obviously.
Oh, it was good. Obviously something new to see, because from such a small town, it was such a eye-open to see a bigger city. But yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you have a sporting background at all? So how did you get into this, and how did you end up being a mentor for Ronnie down in Ipswich at a hockey carnival?
How did I get in?
Yeah.
Well, I got in last year.
Got in what?
Into the work last year. Kalia mentioned that they were looking for more workers to work with the girls, and I applied and got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But you didn't play much sport as a child, or?
Not so much. I only played netball during high school. I played for the school team, and then after I graduated, I kind of didn't play any sports afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. So, Veronica, you're part of the Aspire to be Deadly team here at Cairns at the Cairns Hockey Association. So, tell us a little bit how the Aspire to be Deadly program has helped you along the way.
They helped me with a lot. They helped me with my fees down to my games. They take care of me. When I first played, they gave me a hockey stick and a hockey shoes and a hockey socks.
Right.
They helped me out through everything.
Okay. So, they've helped you out financially.
Yeah.
And why are you here on a Wednesday afternoon?
Because we got training, and plus they do a program in the afternoon for us.
And what's the program about?
They'll do like activities and give us food.
Okay. So you come in here to a safe space. I think they call it the hub or something, don't they? It's a place where the athletes can come from school, straight after school, and it's a safe environment, and you get looked after, and maybe a little bit of tucker along the way. And then you go out and train.
Yes.
And then you get yourself home. How do you get home overnight?
I catch the bus.
You catch the bus all the way out to, you live out Edmonton way or something, don't you?
Yeah, I live at Edmonton.
So that's a nice long trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you usually do that by yourself, or does mum pop in every now and again and jump on the bus with you?
Sometimes, or they meet me at the bus stop.
Oh, okay, that's fine. What time do you get home from training?
I got my under 14s one, then I have my under 18s, and I finish 6:30.
Right.
So I get home around 7, 8.
Oh, that's not too bad if you're home about 7-ish, isn't it? Yeah, it's only half an hour down the road. Be a couple of buses though, wouldn't it?
No, right.
Right through from here.
Yeah.
Oh, so you stay on the same bus into town.
Yeah.
And then and from
All the
town.
way, yeah.
Oh, how handy is that? That's fantastic. So you've made the Queensland team, okay, which is fantastic. I know you were really excited about it before you went away to state championships.
Yes.
What's the most exciting thing you think is going to happen when you go to Hobart later in the year?
I guess you play with the Queensland team and represent where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very excited because I'll meet new people, versus new people from different states.
You will. What state are you scared of the most?
New South Wales.
New South Wales are pretty good.
Yes.
They're pretty good. Yes, they are, especially at that level. So Victoria and WA, they'll all be strong. Yeah, they'll all be strong. But the most important thing is that you have some fun.
Yes.
And enjoy yourself. That's really, really important for you. So do you have any idea what your commitments are or what your training schedule looks like before you go to the Nationals in Hobart?
I have to try and get my fitness up and make sure I do good to go down. And in trainings, they told us that we have to make sure we be running and make sure we eat the right things.
And who's training you here in Cairns, getting you ready for the Nationals?
Vaney.
It's Vaney from Cairns Hockey?
Yep.
He's the performance manager over there, isn't he? He's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, he goes all right, doesn't he? You get on well with him?
Yeah, we do. We're good.
Yeah. Now, we've got to remember that Sawadu can't hear us now, so I've switched her microphone and headphone off. And I'm only kidding, by the way. She actually is going to hear what you said. So what was the value or what was really, really good about having Sawadu with you in Ipswich during the state championships?
It was really good because some nights I wasn't really myself. And, like, we were all stuck and, like, she brings spare socks for us. And, like, there was some days us girls would get in arguments and, like, she'll be there. She tells us not to get in arguments, to get angry with each other.
Who's us girls? There were some other girls down there.
Sasha and Akayla.
Oh, they're all in the Aspire to be Deadly Hub program here too, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good mates though, are they?
Yeah.
All get on well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you in the same team at Ipswich?
No, me and Sasha was in number 1 team and Akayla was in number 2 team.
Okay. And was there any other challenges for you that you had to overcome at the under 13 state championships?
Yes. I got nervous because I was the captain.
Oh, really? Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Like, I got nervous because I watched other the games and I seen all the players and they have the same skills and everything like me. And like it was pretty hard to get picked in Queensland team because we all good down there.
Well, you must have been good because you got picked in the Queensland team and you're going to go to the national championship. So you must have done pretty well. What about yourself, Sawadu? Was there any challenges as far as you were concerned regarding your first state championships away and in the mentoring role for the young Indigenous girls?
I wouldn't say there was any challenges. Probably, there wasn't any challenges. They were all really good towards me. But yeah, I wouldn't say there was any challenges.
Okay.
Yeah. From my point of view.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you both the same question so I don't have to repeat it. Do you feel that the young Indigenous youth these days as athletes, because, Veronica, you're an athlete and you're playing hockey and you're about to go away to national championships, do you feel that the acceptance of who you are and your background and what your cultural history is a lot more acceptable these days than, say, when you were growing up?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a yes from Veronica?
I would say yes. It's definitely been approved, but yeah, it's good.
You think there's still challenges though?
In some areas there are challenges because other people obviously see things differently from others, but yeah.
What about the other teams when you were away at state championships? Veronica, there was obviously teams from Gympie and Atherton and Brisbane and Ipswich and everywhere in Queensland. Did you see a lot of young Indigenous youth playing hockey these days?
No.
Really? Okay. Not many at all?
Not many at all.
Okay. All right. That's a bit sad. But there was a few playing for Cairns in both teams, which is absolutely fantastic. What about yourself, Sawadu? Did you notice anything in that regard down there? There's not an abundance of Indigenous young girls playing our sport?
Yeah, there wasn't much, but obviously our girls did stand out. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did Cairns proud though.
Yeah.
So, Ronnie, you've been picked to play for Queensland now, as we said, at the Under-13 National Championships in Hobart.
Yes.
What do you want to do with hockey? Where do you want to go? What's your goals in hockey? Now, I know that some goals can be private and you mightn't want to share them, but what would you like to do as a hockey player?
Well, I always get compliments of others, like always saying, "Oh, I see you playing Olympics," when it's like you playing in Olympics, and like Jess and Lisa, they're convincing me to like stay in hockey, do good, because I could get there, and think I will get in the Olympics if I just keep on focus on myself.
Okay, all right. So that would be a lot of training and a lot of hard work. So
Yes.
The pathway to that sort of thing is into the national program, and you've made the first step. The first step is to get to play for your state, which is Queensland. And then, of course, once you've played for Queensland a few times, the national selectors can have a look and they might go, hey, listen, we want that girl in our Australian squad. And away you go. And we might have to keep an eye out for you in the Olympics in about 15 or so years or see how we go. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with me about this whole pathway situation and where you started and what happened in Ipswich and where you're going to Hobart? Or are we all good?
I reckon we're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good?
Yes.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the podcast. A big thank you to Veronica and Sawadu for sharing this information with us. And, of course, it would be remiss of us if we didn't say to Veronica, all the best at the National Championships. Hope it goes really, really well. I'm sure we'll get some great reports back on you and about you. And most importantly, you fly the Aspire to be Deadly flag really high. You tell everyone how good it is and you enjoy yourself as much as you possibly can. Is that a deal?
Yes.
Chat to you when you get back.
Yeah.
Have a great one. All the best.